At the lead, rounding the top of the course, it is Japan 4-4-2-2, taking the lead in the later stages of this upwind leg. But now they know they've got 3 legs left to go. And with this light wind, it's going to be all about pumping. The crew is going to have to keep their heart rate up. Japan round the top. Following just behind them is Sweden, and then we have the Greeks sailors Mattis and Caglialis. Brazil and USA 7, the young Americans, also round. Now we're on board with the Greek sailors, and if you think the run was going to be a rest for the crews, think again.
They're going to keep working these boats. You can see a lot of tiller moving, trying to get the boat at the correct angle so they get as max power in their sail, and then they can pump it and, you know, force the boat forward through the water.
Well, the leaders nearly 30 meters ahead, the Japanese team, and right now they're looking at a fantastic picture because Japan out in the lead, and behind them everyone's starting to rack up, everyone's starting to defend. An opportunity now for Japan to build up quite a healthy lead, but the points still quite close. They need some teams to slip down. As we head down onto this run, we'll give you an update on how everybody fits into this podium. But look at how much work is being required here. Spain 44, they are putting it all on the line. They are using every last little inch of their strength. Full pumping going on from the helm and the crew. The rolling of the boat, getting the sail to fan through the breeze, and then the crew pumping both the sheet and the guy as well. That's every muscle.
Every muscle. They just have to be careful of not sealing extra distance here. You know, they're really working it there. They're calming down a bit, but, you know, it's really important to get the rhythm down because you can just go off on a tangent and go fast, but you won't actually be gaining on the course.
Well, look at this, 40 meters now, the Japanese advantage. It was at 30, now it's at 40 and building, so they have a chance to stretch out.
The Spanish boat we just saw is, by the way, clocking the highest average speed on that downwind so far. They're sticking out. It did look good what we just saw.
It did, but were they sailing quite a bit higher than everybody else?
Yeah, let me check. Well, yeah, well, they're in the upper range when it comes to the distance they covered. Well, mid-range, I would say. So still doing quite well.
Well, the big question for me is what is going on with Stuart McNay and David Hughes, the world #3 pair from the United States, because early on in the very early stages of this race, they started quite well, they had an opportunity, but now they are in danger of getting a pack just sailing straight past them. You can see them in the middle of the screen. There they are in the yellow bib. They're working just as hard as we saw the Spanish team earlier, and they've got every right to because they're in danger.
They are, you know, sort of back and forth between 6th, 7th, and 8th place. If they hold on to 6th place, they're right now capturing first on the podium. If they drop back to 8th place, they drop to 3rd on the podium. So we're talking inches here are going to make a difference overall.
And that onboard shot giving you an idea of just how hard the helm and crew are working together. Both sails need to be pumped simultaneously. The coordination is an absolute must. And now when they go for the jibe, just look at how much effort there is involved. All of those ropes, that pole coming over, everything has to be done at just the right time. The jibe's good, the spinnaker is still flying, and then straight back into pumping.
Yeah, really nice jibe there. That's the key. One collapse in the spinnaker, you can lose a lot of distance. It's really important just to keep it flying. Max power in the sails.
Data-wise, that boat's the slowest on the downwind so far. Average speed on the on USA 1 is just 4.7 knots. That is the slowest boat at the moment.
Well, from that shot at the moment, they do not have an awful lot of options. They are racked up just above the other American team, making a little bit of a gain here. We can see a few boats starting to stack up, starting to take a little bit of breeze. The Greek sailors as well, Mattis and Caglialis getting caught up. We're with Japan, just sailing clear at the moment. 50 meters. We've got the Japanese team leading this race. They will be so lucky that they have been able to stay clear of that massive lineup for 2nd place.
Looking ahead, that's what the sailors are doing now. Which side of the gate is going to be biased? Looks like it's an even gate. So they're free to go to either side that they think is going to be better on the next upwind.
With the Japanese team out in front there, they're actually moved themselves into a really solid 2nd position on the podium from 3rd, and looks like they have a nice, comfortable lead, which is good. The race is back between the Greeks and the Americans. Can the Americans stay ahead of that little group? They'll hold on to 1st overall on the podium.
And the Japanese came into this competition, came into this medal race with 12 points deficit, having to make up with Stuart McNay and David Hughes from America. But if USA 1 keep having struggling with their performance here, we could see Japan taking that top spot, and they certainly look like they're fighting very hard for it. Sally, talk us through this pumping technique here.
Yeah, so they're basically rocking and pumping the sails a bit like we saw with the windsurfers. They're using the power in the sail to propel the boat forward, and the rocking motion is also doing the same thing under the water.
I might have an interesting bit of insight here. The USA 1 is slow. That's what the data says.
But they're
they
low.
cover a lot less distance. So it looks like they're just taking a lot less action, but, you know, taking it easy, going low, going straight. And they actually gained 3 places on the Downwind.
Yeah, they're doing well. They're really gaining up the group. Now they've got 6-point gap on that first place podium position.
Well, that could be the experience that 3 Olympic Games give you. Stuart McNay represented his country 3 times, and him and David Hughes are now ranked number 3 in the world. But the lead at the moment, the Japanese team, 4-4-2-2, round the bottom of the course, and they have worked incredibly hard to build up a nearly 50-meter lead. They have a quick chance to catch their breath, and then it's going to be straight back to pumping. Sweden coming round in second place, just behind them Italy with a very tidy drop on the spinnaker, beautifully timed to come into that jibe for the leeward mark. Now we get the leaders overall, Stuart McNay and David Hughes in the yellow bib, also jibing to head out to that right hand side. Brazil 54, again a nice drop, just getting the kite in the bag as we go on board with McNay and Hughes, and they're tacking off, trying to increase their clear air. They're looking for something. We're working that run based on the analytics. Let's have a look at it here. Talk us through it.
Yeah, well, as I mentioned before, very convincing metrics on the Japanese team. Lowest distance in this race, almost the highest speed, the fastest boat. Fock and Dackhammer from Sweden were a little bit faster, but extra distance on them. What you can also see is how similar the maneuver count actually is. And to me, this data looks like it's a very mature Olympic class. Not that much in it. The differences are quite small. And, you know, speed does matter. You can tell. There is some correlation there, but it's not everything. McNay and Hughes with 4.82 knots. You can see that they were sacrificing a little bit of speed for going higher than the rest.